The book is called Masha Batuach Batuach, and it's a child safety book, which is a way for parents to sit down with children, read to them in a very comfortable way, to teach them the rules of child safety and how to prevent themselves from being abused. What we did was we combined it with general safety matters also. So it's not only about abuse prevention, it's about child safety, you know, wearing a helmet, crossing the street, medication. Then there's a section about stranger danger, about being careful from people you don't know, to protect themselves. But the most important thing, sadly and hard to believe, most people who abuse children are people they know very well. So it's important to teach them the basic rules of child safety, which are no secrets from parents. No one's ever allowed to tell a child to keep a secret from a parent. The second message is your body belongs to you, which is personal ownership, where you teach a child this is your body and you have a right to a space around that body. Good touching, bad touching, which is some touching is okay, other touching is not okay. For example, a spot covered by a bathing suit is a good way to tell children this message. No one's supposed to touch you in a spot that's covered by a bathing suit. And the fourth message is, if someone makes you feel uncomfortable, you have the right to leave that situation, and I as a parent will support your right to do that. So these are the messages that children need to know. Research shows that even one conversation with children with a moderate amount of follow-up makes children 6 to 7 times more likely to defend themselves, God forbid, chas v'shalom, if somebody starts up with them. So this stuff really works. It's very effective, extremely effective, and parents often think that we don't want to teach this to our children. We want to keep them sheltered and pure. The problem is that children who are extremely sheltered are very vulnerable, because predators, it's much easier for them to start up with a child that doesn't know anything about anything. And there's nothing here that is in any way a lack of tzniut. Quite to the contrary, it's the ultimate tzniut. You're teaching children to protect their own space. We got haskamot from Rav Yehuda Silman, Rav Stern, both very chashuv dayanim in Bnei Brak. Rav Chaim Kanievsky wrote us a beautiful letter. Rav Chaim's daughter wrote us a handwritten letter and asked us for the first 10 copies. And when I bring it back from the printer, she said she wants the first 10 copies for Rav Chaim's married grandchildren. What's really special about the book are a number of things. First of all, we give these messages to the children without frightening them. And it's very important that they don't be frightened when they're given these messages, because they don't remember things when they're scared. The second thing is it's done in a very tzniistic way. It's done in a very appropriate manner for any Torah home. And we got haskamot from many gedolim, and who actually, in the Ivrit, they asked us to please make an Ivrit book, because we made it in English. We sold 30,000 copies in America, around the world in English. We sold 5,000 of a Yiddish book that we released, and now we're working on with the Hebrew community to be able to give them tools. It's a tool. It gives parents the ability to have these conversations with children. If you go to an average parent and say, speak to your children about abuse prevention, they get frightened. They don't know what to say. They get nervous. They don't know what the correct messages are. So this book gives them a wonderful way to have these conversations in a friendly way, in a way that the children will accept the message and really learn from it. Parents often feel that, how could this work? How could I teach a small child to protect themselves against a much larger adult? I'm not even there to protect them. How can I do this? It's not going to work anyway. So the important message to parents is that the reason that it's so effective is because predators, pedophiles, are afraid of children who've been educated. And they do things to find out which children talk to their parents regularly, which children know about their right to personal space. And pedophiles typically go away from kids like this. So teaching parents how to speak to the children and educating the children makes them so much more likely to protect themselves. I got over 50 emails, telephone calls, and direct communications from parents whose children were able to protect themselves because they had been educated. And because they took our book and read it to their children. It's incredibly rewarding and very humbling to find out that you really can save a child's life simply by speaking to them and educating them on such an important matter. It's important that parents feel empowered. All parents should know that you can do this. All you need to do is learn how to do it and have the right tools. We believe that this book will give you those tools and teach you the important components of an effective child safety program, so you can teach your children to protect themselves even when you're not around.